Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I take this moment to thank you all for joining this session. Myself, I'm Paul. I'm a Nutanix trainer here. I quickly talk about myself, and then we can get into the training side. So I totally have 12 years experience in in overall IT, and specific to Nutanix, I have 8 years of Nutanix training. So I closely work with Nutanix testing team, Nutanix development team, and implementations, operations. So all stuff I collectively I worked on different areas of Nutanix. So with specific to training, it's almost my seventh year in providing training. So with CDP, I'm quite excited to deliver this training. Uh, I don't know. I don't want to get into each one of you now, considering that time, but definitely, we have a long session, so I will definitely, have more interaction with you. Okay. So let me quickly start Nutanix training. And before that, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can talk to me. Or if you want to make use of the chat window, go ahead and use the chat window. Okay. So from Nutanix, okay, the first thing, this is going to be an kind of introduction session. We are not going to talk many technical features from Nutanix, but at the same time, we need to address the important issues or important question many people have it. Okay, many people working on Nutanix, maybe 4 years, 5 years, or more than that, but still, if you ask this question, okay, and many people they will not be able to give clear answers. So I want to address the specific question here in the introduction session, and hope this will this gives the clear understanding of the background of Nutanix. Okay, so overall, if you see the plan, first we talk about the path to hyperconvergence, then evaluation of IT infra, then comparison of traditional converge and hyperconverge. The last one is advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so altogether, HCI is a technology where Nutanix is playing a key role. But before knowing that, what is Nutanix or what is HCI, we need to understand why we need to move into this technology. Okay, so let me quickly take a comparison. Like you have virtualization. Okay, so virtualization, VMware, Hyper-V, and then if you go into public cloud, they have their own virtualization background. Okay, you know why we are into virtualization, but why I need to pick VMware or why I need to take Hyper-V. Okay, so these many questions, you obviously have it, but I believe most of the people have an answer for all these questions because that's very basic thing. So taking the same questions to the Nutanix, if you ask these questions to many people, they will not be able to answer your question. So that's what we want to address, but we will discuss a lot in quickly in this session. Okay, so before getting into this, we are it's more of a demo session, but the future plan, we are planning to conduct associate and professional. So associate is a very basic level, and then second step is professional. Okay, if you Google it, you will get two different names like NCA and NCP, or MCI NCP or MCI NCA, and these are the course certification names. But if you specifically looking for the study material, you have to go for NHCF and NCA. Okay, with this scope of this training, we are actually planning to conduct associate and professional all together. It's a combined pack we are planning to deliver. If you want to know more certification, you can probably go and refer Nutanix University. This is where you get all the. If you want to take up the certifications, if you want to take about any other course details, all that you can find in this university. So I will talk about. I skipped a few slides for now, but definitely now we will be going to talk about this in a more detailed way in the upcoming days and actual training. Okay. So I directly know I want to get into the core technical key point where we know we have to compare different technologies. So We have three different technologies: traditional three-tier infrastructure, convergent infrastructure, and then finally we have a hyper-convergent infrastructure. So if you talk about traditional infrastructure, you see here we have servers here, and then we have a fiber channel switch, which is storage switch, and then you have a storage. And along with that, you have a network switch. But if you take this same design into the convergent infrastructure, you still have server, you still have network and storage switch, and then you still have storage. So it is still a three-tier. But if you take this comparison to the hyper-converge, you see the storage and server is combined, and network is still it's outside. Okay, higher level, these are the difference, but it doesn't make you sense, right? We still need to understand the differences in more detailed way. Okay, I quickly take you to the comparison. So this is a very important key point. If you have clarity in this area now, you will be able to answer why I need to pick up HCA. Because if you go for POC, so many customers come and ask you, hey, can you differentiate, or can you talk about HCA first? I know HCA, hyper convergent infrastructure, but I need to understand what is the real strength and what problem it is trying to solve, right? So these are the basic question you will have it. So definitely after this session, you will be having an answer for all this question. Okay. So let me quickly take you to the session. I take you to the presentation. I hope you can see the paint screen, which I open now. Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
So
yes.
sorry.
Yes, we can. I can see it at least.
Okay, thank you. So before talking about HCA or any traditional other stuff, I'll talk about storage first. Okay, so storage, we have different. Okay, so different storage technology is available. The first thing is DAS. DAS is nothing but it's directly attached storage. Okay, so like if you go back to maybe 10-15 years back, many of the servers are having directly attached storage. So difference is which means your server has a directly attached storage. Like you can take in your laptop as an example. You have laptop, the laptop has a hard disk or SSD connected locally. If you open your laptop, you can see the hard disk or SSD, right? So that's a DAS. Like this, some years back, all the servers are having locally attached storage. The I'll talk about the advantage and disadvantage in this specific technology. Okay, so let's take an advantage here. Okay, you have a laptop, and that laptop, you have a storage here. Okay, so now you are trying to download a file from the internet. Okay, or trying to download a movie from the internet. That download comes here, and then it goes to your hard disk. This is how it works, right? And if you're trying to upload a file, maybe to the Google Drive or something, you have a storage here. From here, you select the file, and then the upload goes. So this is something input, output, right? IOPS, we say IOPS, input, output per second. Maybe the storage performance, calculated based on the IOPS. Okay. When you have a storage locally, you can directly download a file from from any source, and you can store it in your local disk. Okay, so this, if you take the performance, this is going to be a very good performance, because you have storage locally in the laptop. Okay, I give a small example. Okay, you are inside a room. There is one more person staying with you. If you want to communicate with him, you can directly communicate with him. Okay, the communication is going to be it's very good, and the clarity is always good because he is local to you. But a person is somewhere in a different building or a different city. If you want to talk him, you need a medium. Okay, so let's take, in this case, you have a phone. So if you take a phone, you need to wait for the call to be connected, and once it's connected, and then you can talk. But again, your performance, the communication is depends upon this in the it's based on the it's based on how your network is good, right? If you have a poor network, your communication is going to be poor. If your communication is good, the signals and everything is good, then you can make a good communication. Okay, but if you want to talk to a local person, it's always good because he is locally in your room, so you can talk to him, very often, or even now in a better way. But if you want to talk to a remote person, you always need a medium, and that again, the communication is based on how strong that medium is. Okay, so now let's take that example into the core data center concept. Okay, so I have a laptop where I have a directly attached storage. So if I want to read or write any file, my performance is good because I have directly attached storage. Okay, so here let's put advantage. Advantage is good performance, or you can say advantage is performance. Okay, but you have a question, you may have a question now. If the performance is good, then why we move from DAS to a different technology? What is a different technology? That different technology is SAN. Okay, so we moved from DAS to SAN. Okay, when you move, when you always move from one technology to other technologies, if you feel there is a real benefit, real advantage, or real cost benefit, right? So here people are happy with the performance using DAS, but they have some problem here. Okay, so here to differentiate that, no, the problem here, I'll put up another design here. Okay, I just open a new paint. Hope you can see it. So I have three different servers. So now instead of laptop, I have taken the servers. I have three servers. Each server has its own local storage. Let's take this is having 3 TB of storage. Okay, this is having 3 TB of storage, and this is having the same 3 TB, and this as well has 3 TB of storage. So I have three different servers. Each has its own local storage. So now on top of this, I'm running some applications. Okay, let's take here. I'm running AD, Active Directory. Here I'm running maybe Exchange server, and here I'm running database. Okay, so obviously the database requires a lot of storage, and Exchange it's going to be it requires storage, but in this scenario, let's consider that the overall utilization going to be here 2 TB. Okay, so you may have the maximum of utilization can go up to 2 TB. Okay, and other side, one Active Directory, you have the maximum utilization of 1 TB. Okay, and other side database, very soon this is going to be the database server is going to consume all the storage, which means 100% of storage. Okay, so here it's going to be 100% of storage, and then it's now for now let's take 3 TB. Okay, so very soon database server requires additional storage. In this scenario, what you can do as a IT person, what solution you do to expand the storage in the database server? Maybe if anybody wants to give an answer, please go ahead and unmute yourself and you can give an answer. I have three different servers. Each has same amount of storage, like 3 TB, 3 TB. Active Directory, I'm very much sure it never goes beyond 1 TB. Other side, Exchange server, it is maximum 2 TB. Database server is, it's going to consume 100%. So as a infrastructure guy, I need to provide additional storage. In this scenario, what you do?
Add more space.
Yes, but how do you do that?
Sir, what is your question? Question I could not understand.
See, database server is going to consume the 100% of storage.
Hosting a storage and accessible through network.
Okay.
Like SAN.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Maybe let's wait for others to give their suggestion.
Yeah, add one more new mount point.
Mount point, okay.
The disk is not extendable, then we can go with mount point.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So all this, it works in a certain way, but let me make it very simple. See, I'm talking about DAS here, directly attached storage. If I need to mount some storage, maybe a network storage, I still need to uh, deploy some storage externally. Then I have to mount it. Then that is not going to be a directly attached storage. Other side, if you go and if you have extra slots in the server, you can additionally buy new storage and you can place it. If that the option doesn't work out, then you can go for bigger size of SSD hard disk. Like I have 3 TB. If you have to go and check if there is anything available more than this, then you have to back up the files, restore new disk, and that way it works. But again, it all it takes higher higher work and higher risk. To make very simple approach, these approaches doesn't work out. Okay, but customer is coming to you now. Hey, I know I cannot go. I think Habayi, do you have any question? I see you raised your hand. Do you have any question? Okay. So let's take this same scenario. So customer says, "Hey, I cannot go and buy new hard disk." Okay, because that's again additional no additional requirement. But I see here Active Directory servers. Here I have 1 TB storage is at maximum it is going to consume only 1 TB storage. So remaining 2 TB is unused. Remaining 2 TB is unused. So can I share this storage with database server? This is his question. Okay,
Yes, we
sharing
can.
the storage from one server to other server.
Yes,
Yes.
you can.
Yes, obviously yes, but here it is for one server, two server, it's fine. But if you go into a data center, you may have 500 servers or 1,000 servers. So each server finding the free storage from other server and sharing that with other server is again it's a very hectic process, and it doesn't look in a best solution. Because if I have 500 server, the 500 server is sharing its own storage with other servers, then it's going to be like completely mesh topology. Okay, at this at finally you need to maintain a proper sheet that server 1 shares storage with server 2, server 3 shares storage with server 5, server 6. No, this makes it obviously it doesn't look a good design, but at the same time it's a lot of hectic process, and it overall it collapses the proper data center. So customers asking, hey, do you have a straight solution where I can share the storage from one server to other server, okay, without disturbing that? Okay, so the straight, the answer is no, but still at the back end it is possible at a certain level. But in a real uh, production environment with a lot of best practice, we don't take this approach. We don't share the storage from one server to other server, like Active Directory to a database or database to Exchange, considering the security issues, right? So now going back to the previous one, advantage I said no performance, but what is disadvantage? Disadvantage is sharing. Okay, so I also want to talk about another difference here. Okay, so let's take, maybe I'm ready to share the storage from Active Directory to database server. Okay, let's take I'm sharing 1 TB of storage. In case Active Directory goes down, okay, I do maintenance. In that case, I have to reboot, or maybe if any maintenance window or any issues, the Active Directory goes down, then this shared storage is going to be unavailable, right? So in this case, database will have an issue that it is not able to access the storage. Okay, so like this, the dash solution is not suitable for the shared storage. So dash is good always only if you have a local concept, but sharing is not the best way for directly attached to storage. So DAS offers you the high performance, but the problem here is sharing. So if it is a 1-2 server, that's fine. Customer somehow manage to get some solution. But when you have a big data center like 500,000 servers, then sharing a storage is a real problem when you have directly attached storage in a server, right? To address this problem, customer is looking for some solution. This is where SAN comes. Okay, so SAN, what they removed all the storage. Okay, they removed all the local storage. Okay, so the local storage is removed from all the servers, and they have a centralized box here. In the box, they have a disk shelf. The disk shelf has collection of disk. Okay, so now if AD needs storage, the AD goes to this box. If Exchange needs storage, it needs to connect to the box, and same for database. Okay, and here you have storage switch. If it is iSCSI, you can you can have a network switch, or if it is a fiber channel, you need a storage switch. Okay, so in a SAN, servers are not having local storage. Okay, the storage is in the centralized box where you have controllers. Below the controller, you have a disk shelf. So all your servers are connecting to this controller to read and write the data. So in this case, the same problem. The server database is already having 3 TB storage. If it needs more storage, you have the freedom to expand your storage in the storage controller. You can create additional disk and you can easily map it here. You can go ahead and expand your existing disk if your OS or virtualization platform supports in expanding the existing disk, then you can go ahead and do that. So it makes the sharing storage very simple, easy, as friendly. Okay, so the SAN part, the advantage is sharing storage. Okay, but again, you may have some disadvantage here, right? What is the disadvantage? Can you guess it?
Some long
Network.
and consume more apps. Some application require more apps, and some require it's not manageable, I think.
And cost will be very high for this one. Stan, go for it.
Latency issues.
Yes,
Yeah,
all
I
this,
think
all
so.
the points you made it is
I was
yes,
just about to say latency.
yes, absolutely right. So SAN is obviously higher cost setting up the SAN. But at this moment I'm not talking about the cost, because cost obviously it plays a difference. But this moment we are talking about the performance. So SAN is going to offer a low performance comparatively DAS. I said, right, talking to someone who is nearby you can talk, in a better way. But if a person is in a remote location, if you have a good mobile network, if you have good Wi-Fi, you can make a WhatsApp call or anything. You can talk to him in a, very well. But there is again, if you look into the speed of the communication, there is a big difference through, talking to a person directly than through the uh, Wi-Fi or mobile network. So here the disadvantage is performance. We are calculating the performance on the basis of IOPS, input out per second. So the real comparison, if you take DAS, offers high performance. It can handle more data than SAN network. Okay, so DAS side, it offers good performance. How? By keeping the data local. By keeping the data local. This is the very important point. Okay, so DAS keeps the data local, but SAN no data local, because your storage is not local, it's in the remote location, so no data local. If you keep data local, you can write the data fast, you can read the data first. But if you keep it in the remote location, you have to send the data from your server to the remote location. In between you have a storage switch, in between you have a cables. Through the cable it has to go. Again, the performance is based on your storage controller. If the controller has less less performance, then obviously you will be expecting IOPS is going to be also less. Okay, so now you know the advantage of DAS, data local, advantage of SAN, shared storage. So now customer is asking, hey, I cannot compromise performance, I cannot compromise shared storage, I need both. Okay, so which means I want to keep my data local, but at the same time I want to share the storage. Okay, so the third one is okay. So I need a solution which can offer me data local and shared storage. Okay, DAS and SAN. I want to get the benefit of DAS storage and SAN storage. You obviously know DAS offers data local, SAN offers shared storage. So I want to get the benefit of both DAS and SAN. Okay, so this is where HCI comes. You understood?
Yes.
Okay. This is the real difference. Okay, why we need to move into HCI, hyperconverged infrastructure. Okay, many people don't know this. Okay, so you have a DAS, you have a SAN. You know the advantage in DAS, you know the advantage in SAN. You know the disadvantage in DAS, you know the disadvantage in SAN. So collectively, no, we have to build up a unified solution which can offer the benefit of both DAS and SAN. So HCI is something which offers both data local and shared storage. Okay, how you need x86 commodity server. You take normal servers which has, like, let's take, I have 3 servers. Okay, so server has obviously it has CPU and memory. Along with that, I have some storages here. Okay, these are, it can be SSD or it can be hard disk. So each server has local storage. Okay, so this is server 1 and this is server 2 and so this is server 3. Okay, so now I have each server, I have a local storage. How can I create a shared storage here? Any guess? Yes, Jovan, go ahead.
In the previous scenario, I just want to know, usually let me say your net protocol plays a huge role as well. For argument's sake, if you're on BGP or what is the other one? OSPF. Does that in this scenario help? In terms of that converging the data from from the one from in this case DAS to SAN. Does that not also play a role? Just a question.
Okay,
Because we've had instances, or me personally, we have had an instance where we've discovered by just changing the protocol, that also drops latency significantly, depending on what your service provider from the outside is running. So it's just a question again.
Okay, so to offer, I understood from your question that you are bringing some network, protocols to expedite the performance, or get some good performance with the the storage communication side. So if you ask me, consideration of anything beyond the native way, it again, it involves a lot of cost. At the same time, it involves a lot of hectic. Like bringing OSPF, you have to invest a lot of infrastructure side. You need a OSPF supported device, then OSPF configuration needs to be rightly placed. So you are setting some expectation from the networking side. So here, with HCI, you really don't need any requirement from the networking side, because it's going to be L2 traffic. Storage is going to be, it's only going to be L2 network. We are not providing storage to the remote location. You have a storage on top, you run some VMs. These VMs, it access the storage. So
and this question, Shivam, I believe for the SAN related networking, it is a BGP OSPF network. We have port worldwide names and worldwide names. So there's a for networking, for SAN networking.
Thank you, guys. You've answered my question. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you. So here, we are trying to achieve the things with minimal effort. That is this, beauty of heights here. We're trying to make configurations, everything very simple. So that is what, we are trying to do it here. So I,
கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணிட்டீங்க இல்லையா? ஓகே, எவ்வளவு மார்க் மாட்டோம்ல?
can you go on mute if somebody is talking?
ஸ்டேட் போர்டா இதுவாமா சிபிஎஸ்சி?
Satish, I put yourself on mute. Okay, so let's take one more example here. I have 3 different servers where I have locally attached storage. So I want to convert this into a shared storage. Shared storage, to control that, to convert a storage into a shared storage, we have SAN controller. That's that's a different technology. We have to pay huge and we have to get that to achieve the shared storage. But I said HCI is playing a key role in converting the local storage, or I don't say adding the local storage, adding a shared storage to the local storage. The storage is local. It's always going to be a local, but at the same time, certain level, it needs to convert it as shared storage as well. Okay, so let's see how that will be done by HCI. Okay, so before moving further, I give you an example of 3 different servers. Each has storage here. Let's take, if this has maybe 10 TB. This has 10 TB. And this has 10 TB. Okay, so overall, what is HCI now? Why we need to move into HCI? Next question: what is the requirement from HCI? Okay, what requirement HCI has? You need x86 hardware. Then you need intelligent software. Okay, and then finally you need local storage. So here with x86, I already said this is all x86 hardware. Do we have local storage? So x86 requirement is met. Do we have a local storage here?
Yeah, this is
Yes.
there is local storage.
Yes, obviously, we have it. The third one is intelligent software. If I need to set up a HCI environment in my data center, I need these 3: x86 hardware, local storage, and third one is intelligent software. x86 local storage, already, yes, we have it. But what is intelligent software? Any guess?
That means share integrated the all 3 server resource in logically bind. I think clustering.
Correct. But what is the server? Who is going to provide you that software? Intelligent software, right? What is the software
that is SCI vendor who give hypervisor level, who vendor who provide us the SCI solution.
Okay, so yes, this is where the right vendor you have to pick up. Okay, the intelligent software. Let's take an example. You want HP SimpliVity, then you have to go and get this software from the HP SimpliVity. If you have a Dell VxRail, you have to get the intelligent software from Dell. Yes.
A quick question. Obviously, that is also depending on the kind of solution you're running. So you would obviously then choose the intelligent software depending on what you actually want to obtain or the goal that you want to get out of the solution that you are putting in place. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you're rightly said. We are going to talk about that difference, right? But logically, I want you to know clear understanding where these companies are playing a key role. Okay, but yes, we have a comparison where I'll talk about different HCI vendors.
Okay, thank
you. Yeah. So this intelligent software, when there is a question about this intelligent software, then you need to have a clear answer that why which company you are going to choose and what reason. Okay. Let's take, we are going to talk about Nutanix. I take here Nutanix. Okay. So the intelligent software, I go and approach Nutanix. Hey, I need an intelligent software from you. And obviously they don't give you software directly because a lot of things involved behind it. But I quickly talk about that. So what is the software name from Nutanix? If you ask me, that name is AOS. It's Acropolis Operating System. If you go to VMware, VMware has vSAN. If you go to HP has Simplicity, Dell VxRail, Azure Stack HCI, okay, and Cisco Hyperflex. But Cisco Hyperflex is now no more. Cisco and Nutanix, they merged, and now collaboratively Cisco wants to sell their hardware, which is their x86 hardware. From the software, they want to tie up with Nutanix. Okay, so here this is where you have to decide which product, which HCI vendor you are going to select or choose. Okay, before moving into this, yes.
Yeah, I have one question. Before 1 year ago, I hear about the Nutanix can pirate the community version storage, some community freeware SCI solution without permission. Take a permission from the community. They integrated their code or something technology, integrate Nutanix technology. Is it a right solution? Who can steal the another freeware software without taking permission to use his own solution? Have you got
Okay,
it?
so yeah, if your question is related to the community version, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So community version, I definitely talk about this more detail, before ending the session, but I quickly talk about that. Community version is only for the lab and practicing. Like if you want to try Nutanix exam, then you want to try something on your home, then you can go ahead and download community edition. So the community edition you can download from the Nutanix site. That's only for the lab and learning purpose, which the
No, no, no,
actual
no, no.
difference,
Shivam, my question is, so, Nutanix can pirate some community freeware technology. I hear about that 1 year ago news. Have you heard that thing on?
You are talking about the license part.
No, no, no.
Like,
The storage technology before 1 year ago, Nutanix can uh, without permission to integrate its system, the its system, Nutanix system, integrate Nutanix system. Some code
no.
pirating.
Okay. I got
I
your
hear
question.
that
Security
thing.
related part from the Nutanix, technology, right? No, it's completely secured environment, so nobody know that there is no related issues, security related issues from the Nutanix. But maybe if you still have the article, you can share it with me. I can talk more about it. But so far, Nutanix is highly hardened one. It's you don't need to follow any security standard to add more security. It's self driven, no hardened to device, because they have a lot of security standards implemented for each and every modules, not just one side. The overall, like, let's take these examples. If developer is fixing some issue, they still have to follow the long security process. So they want this environment to be highly secured. So I don't believe that might have happened, but still, if you can share me the post, I can check, and maybe I can talk about that more detail. What issue they are trying to talk in that article. Make sense?
Okay.
Good. Okay. So the intelligence software, this is maybe if I choose Nutanix, I have to give a strong justification that why I picked Nutanix HCI solution. Because if you go for some kind of POC, customer always ask you to differentiate multiple vendors. Hey, can you take Cisco? You can obviously say Cisco is no more now. Cisco HCI is no more, but HP, Simplicity, Dell VxRail, go for VMware vSAN, and then Azure Stack HCI, and finally, can you differentiate Nutanix? So that's very common question. But if you see the generic report, Nutanix is leader. But on what basis Nutanix becomes a leader, right? So these are the generic question, you will get it. So let's go ahead and before getting into this difference, I want to talk about one big difference about a SAN and uh, you know uh, HCI. Okay, so let's take this example. I have two storage controller here. Okay, this is a SAN environment. Okay, this is SAN. Okay, so this is SAN. I have a controller here, controller 1, and then controller 2. Okay, and below I have a disk shelf. Okay, this is where you have a collection of disk. Okay, so this disk shelf has connectivity to both controllers. Okay, so now let's take an example of server 1. I have server 1 here. I have only one server, and if you take an example here, the performance, this controller can offer you 1 lakh IOPS. The maximum performance of this controller is 1 lakh, and this as well, you have 1 lakh IOPS. So now this server is able to access both controller. In this case, how much the IOPS the server can get. So collectively, controller and controller 2, it can go up to 2 lakhs IOPS. This is a very simple example, right? I have only one server. That one server gets the maximum performance of both controllers. So each controller offers 1 lakh IOPS. So altogether, my server gets 2 lakhs IOPS. Okay. So in case if I bring another server 2. So now what will happen? These two servers needs to share this controller, right? In this case, overall I have 1 lakh IOPS. Now this server gets 1 lakh and this server gets another 1 lakh. Okay, if you see the previous example, I have only one server. That one server gets a complete benefit, but I have two servers now. These two servers needs to share the maximum bandwidth available. So each one gets 1 lakh and 1 lakh. So now if I bring third server, what will happen? What will happen?
There will be latency.
Yes. Now from 1 lakh, it goes somewhere like approximately 66,000 IOPS. Because now I have a new member, I have to share the bandwidth with the new server as well. So all get 60,000 IOPS. Maybe if I bring additional server now, fourth server, what will happen? How much IOPS each server gets? So I have totally 2 lakhs IOPS in the storage side. So how much IOPS each server is going to get?
52,000.
50,000. Yes, right. So 50,000 IOPS. So you see here, if I bring more servers, my performance is going down because the performance from the controller is fixed. It's actually 2 lakhs. Bringing more servers brings more CPU, more memory, but it doesn't bring you more storage performance because we are not expanding the controller. The controller is here. This controller is, it's a fixed configuration. You can go ahead and expand your controller, but that is not a simple approach. You have a lot of connectivity, you have a lot of data, and again, the cost is also going to be very high. So with the static configuration of controller, if you have more servers, you have more servers, less performance, but less servers, more performance. That's a concept with the SAN. Okay, maybe if I bring fifth server here, then each server is going to get how much? So 2 lakhs IOPS is going to be consumed by 5 different servers. Then how much you get it?
40,000.
Yeah,
40.
right. Yes. So you see the difference with the SAN, right? So this is a very big difference. Now let's take this example into HCI. Okay, HCI. I have 3 servers. Now let's take very simple simple environment. I have 3 servers, or maybe you can say node. In Nutanix we say node. I'll talk about this in the detail. In the upcoming sessions, I'll talk about nodes, the servers, all that. Okay. This is my node 1. This is my node 2. And this is my node 3. Okay.
Node means it's a controller.
When you have node, when you say node, node, CPU, memory, storage, and CPM.
Means it's the host
That means
machine.
host machine.
Host in the sense you have a hypervisor, you have a CPU memory, right? But node is nothing but node. On top you have something called CVM. Okay. So here you will be having something called CVM. That's controller virtual machine. If you have CVM, then collectively you will say node. But here in the hardware, you have a hypervisor, you have the CPU memory storage, and along with that, you also have something called CVM. Okay, we will talk about this later. Okay, what is CVM? So this we say a node. Okay, if node is nothing but node is hypervisor, CVM. If you have these two, then it's actually a node. If no CVM, then you can say it's a host because you have a hypervisor. Clear?
That
Can you
means
repeat
in
again this one?
hypervisor we called host. In SCI we call node.
In HCI here we actually talk about node. No, more often you say node. So node is nothing but it has CVM and then hypervisor installed. Or you can say this way. Okay, so node is equal to host plus CVM. Okay, and you know what is host, right? Host is nothing but
Yes.
the hypervisor. Installed pre-install. The server which has hypervisor installed. That we will say host.
Correct.
Yeah. So now I have 3 servers here, and you know that each server has local storage. Okay. So to read or write the data from the storage or to the storage, you need something called controller. Okay. In a SAN environment, here all the storage is here. You see here, these are the hard disk or SSD, but you cannot directly read and write the data on the storage. You need a controller in between. You see controller 1 and controller 2. Your servers can talk to controllers and it can read and write the data. Same here. I have a collection of disks here, but I cannot directly read and write the data. And in between, I need a controller. Okay. So I have 3 servers, which means I have 3 controllers. So now if this server offers, because I have a controller here, so controller has IOP performance, right? So if this has 1 lakh and this has 1 lakh and the third node has 1 lakh, okay? So collectively now I get 3 lakhs IOPS, okay? Altogether you get 3 lakhs IOPS. So in here, the same example, if I bring new server, what will happen? If I bring new node, what will happen?
Additional IOPS will be added.
Correct. How?
Based on this particular node
Because
design.
because bringing new node is something like bringing new
controller.
Right? Bringing new controller. So if I bring another server, bringing another server is something like bringing additional controller.
Shivam, I
So
have one question. How much IFs we get per hard drive or SSD? SSD, normal hard drive and SSD.
okay, so that's very simple question, but to give an answer, you have to consider a lot of things. In HCI, if for an example, I have one model of server. Let's take an example. I have HPE DL 380 server or DX 380 server. Okay, I have some 3 servers, and I give you 3 more servers. You set 3 servers in your data center. I use these 3 another 3 servers in my data center. We both set up a HCI environment, but we will not be able to get the same performance. The reason, first thing is SSD. We need to have same SSD version, same SSD model, same size, controller, hypervisor, CVM, and then firmware version, hypervisor version, your CVM version. Okay, so there are different attributes plays a major role in the performance side. So if you ask me, SSD, if you go into let's take a WD SSD. Maybe you have a specific model. If you go into Nutanix site, they have a performance report posted in their site. They give you the maximum value because they do the lot of testing in their data center with different parameters, and they want to get the maximum benefit from the storage. So they give you some value, but obviously you will not be able to get that much of value because it's all matter of what environment we have it. So the straight answer is always difficult to give you, but other other factors are involved in measuring the performance. Okay.
No, compared to SSD, the flash is more performance, no? Flash NVMe.
Oh, NVMe, yes, right. We have different hardware, right? We have a hybrid model server where you get hard disk and SSD, and then SSD is going to be a SATA SSD. Then we have NVMe SSD plus SATA SSD. That's again a hybrid model. Then we have all flash NVMe drives where nodes where we have completely all NVMe's. So if you have more cost, you can go for the all NVMe servers.
Okay.
If you have a less cost, you can go for the hybrid model servers where you have 2 SSD plus hard disk.
Hard disk,
okay?
yeah.
Why we need 2 SSD? That's a very important question. Maybe due to time restriction, I will not be able to give you answer in this session, but there are a lot of key points in and around that SSD. The first 2 SSD is always critical SSDs. The remaining can be anything. It can be a hard disk or it can be SSD. The same if you take NVMe, first 2 you need all first 2 disk needs to be NVMe SSD. Remaining can be NVMe based SSD or can be a normal SSD, SATA SSD. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, thank you. So bringing more servers in HCS environment gives more performance, but bringing more servers in SAN environment reduce the performance. Okay, but here you see when I bring more servers, the server brings more CPU, more memory, more storage, and then more performance. Right here, I have 5 nodes. So each node has certain amount of CPU, certain amount of memory, certain amount of storage, and then it also has the controller. That controller has certain IOPS, right? That IOPS is actual performance of the node. Some customers says, hey, my problem is only performance. I don't need CPU, I don't need memory, I don't need more storage. My problem is only the performance. You are forcing me to buy, or you are forcing me to pay for CPU, memory, and other stuff. Instead, but my concern is only the performance. So to address this, we have Nutanix has different servers like storage only, compute only. Okay, if you go with storage only, the nodes are having only storages, more storage, very less CPU, very less memory. If you go with compute only servers or compute only nodes, then you get a high amount of CPU, high amount of memory, but very, very less storage. Okay, we have different use cases for this kind of servers. We will talk about this in the actual session, but I just want you to know, okay, and we have these different concepts available. Any question here?
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there any freeware tool which we can monitor the apps, our environment, and know how much apps is consuming our application or our infrastructure? Is there any tool the IOPS measurement?
Okay, so IOPS measurement side, for VMs we can see, but application is something like for inside a VM you can have multiple applications. So it cannot log into your VM, get the application level metrics. Nutanix will not be able to get that. But VM level, hypervisor level, IOPS part, you can actually get it, and then maybe SSD part. We have entities and metrics. Like you want to get the performance of some entities like CVM or maybe any specific VM or a hypervisor or SSD that can be collected using the Nutanix Prism. Nutanix has inbuilt machine learning technology which gets the more accurate performance details displayed in the Prism. So Prism is, it's one of the service running inside CVM. You get a normal console. That's actually we say Prism console. Okay, but if you need more, more advanced, then obviously you need a Prism Center. That's similar like vCenter. You need to deploy a VM. That VM, it's a Prism Center. That gives even better visualization of your actual infrastructure. But application level, only a VM level can be collected, not the application level, because Nutanix has no privilege to see what inside your VM. It's an infrastructure component, not the application component. Make sense?
Okay, got it.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So this is the one important question I want to talk about. Let's go back to the slide now. Okay, so I think I have given you the overall story now, because before getting into the PPT, I want you to get the clear picture. So I turn on now whiteboard, but now going back to the slide. So this is SAN-based connectivity. You have end user here, and then you have L2 switches where your end users are getting connected. Then they are accessing the storage. Okay, sorry, server. Then server has connected to the SAN switch, and then you have the SAN controllers. Okay, so this is the traditional data center, and how DAS is connected. So you have a server. Inside the server, you can have storage, or maybe you can have a box. This box has a connectivity of SAS and iSCSI. We are not having FC or iSCSI here. Okay, FC and iSCSI are network-based remote communications, but here it still treats this box as locally connected. Okay, so this is the other way. How our laptops and desktop in a home connected. So you have a motherboard where you have the hard disk which is connected locally to the motherboard. Okay, so difference DAS, directly connected, but SAN you have in between, you have a storage switch, then you have a controller separately placed. Okay, so this is a difference I said, right? When you have two servers, you have more than 2 lakhs IOPS in the controller side. These are two controllers, and then you have collection of disks. You have two servers connected, and each server gets sharing that 1 lakh IOPS. But if you bring more servers, so here performance is good, but if you need to support more users, you bring more servers, because supporting users requires more CPU and memory. So you bring more servers. So if I bring third server here, the IOPS goes down from 1 lakh to 66,000 IOPS, because the overall 2 lakhs IOPS is available, which needs to be shared by 3 servers. So I'm able to support more users now, but performance is going down. Okay, so let's take another 4 servers. Adding 4 servers brings the performance from 66,000 to 50,000 IOPS. I have 4 servers, each needs to share this 2 lakhs IOPS. The same 5 servers, 40,000 IOPS. The answer, no. Adding this, no. Do you have a scalable architecture? That's a question, but answer is no, because you are not able to scale in, scale out, scale up, scale down the controller. Okay, so disk shelf can be done, can be added, servers can be added, which means your CPU memory can be added, but controller is something it's a static. So no additional control performance to drive the additional flash disk.
Shivam, can I ask you some confusion?
Yeah.
Okay. In my understanding, in SAN, the more we hard drive or SSD add, more we IFs get. In my understanding, now you said Now, more we know, not mean all the way there is some there in server there is a hard drive also included in this node. I think. Then more we add the hardware, then it automatically we get more apps. I think I'm confusing this part.
Oh, can you come again your question? Are you talking about HCM or are you talking about SAN?
No. Yeah, I comparison to SAN and SCI architecture, and in SAN there is more we add the hard drive, then that will we will get the after uh, add the hard drive we will get the apps. Then in SCI you told us more we add the node, then reduce the apps. I'm confusing that two things.
Okay, I think the previous, design, example, I think you missed it out. Okay, so let me quickly go back here. Okay, so let's take this example. So this is SAN environment where we have two controllers. Okay, SAN controller. Each one offers, 1 lakh IOPS. So altogether you get maximum of 2 lakhs IOPS. So all these are different servers. Okay, let me delete this. Okay, so now I bring one server. Okay, this is SAN environment. Don't get confused. This is SAN. I bring one server now, server one. So how much IOPS this server gets now? Can you give an answer?
One
No, no, I
1,000
have 1 lakh and 1 lakh.
to 1
Maximum
lakh,
the server can get 2 lakhs IOPS.
2 lakhs.
Okay, so in case if I bring new server, which is my second server, so now tell me each server how much IOPS it gets.
1 lakh,
1 lakh and 1 lakh. If I bring
1 lakh.
three servers, then
It's divided in 3.
66,000.
60.
If I bring 4 servers, it's going to be a 50,000
Yeah.
because bringing new server brings CPU memory, but no storage, no controller. Because I said these servers has no local storage. In the sense, I am not going to use the local storage. I'm not going to use the local controller. I'm going to use only the remote controller, which is in this SAN environment. Okay. So in this case, if I bring new server, these servers only bring the new CPU, I mean additional CPU, additional memory, but not additional storage or not additional performance. Okay, maybe if I bring additional controller here, I can bring another 1 lakh IOPS, but as mentioned, it's not more no scalable environment. Okay, certain circumstance you can do that, but it's not easy as you think. A lot of things you have to involve, and then cost is as well. It's very high. So we don't take this approach very easily.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say one scenario. Let's take one scenario. You show me 1, 2, 3, 4 server. Yeah. And here is only one server only one server running on a production VM. Then that time it get 2 lakhs apps. Yeah. Am I right?
If you run only one server, then yes, obviously you get. With this design.
No. The server is running 4, but operation is running on only one server. In that case, we get 2 lakh. Yeah.
Yeah, right. If you have
Okay.
4 servers, but if those remaining 3 servers are idle, yes,
I
obviously the one server gets maximum performance.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
That.
Okay. So this is the important difference with the HCI handstand. So adding new server brings CPU and memory in the SAN environment, but it doesn't bring you the performance because it has no controller. But in a HCI, bringing new server brings CPU, memory, storage, and then performance because each server has its local controller. Okay. So bottlenecks, just give me a second. Okay, sorry guys. So three-tier infrastructure bottlenecks, the performance or key factor. So you have, if it is iSCSI, you have a NIC card. If it is FC, you have a HPA card. Then storage fabric switches, shared storage array. So your performance can be impacted at any circumstance in these different components. And then firmware, the latest hardware is required at these different areas. So this is a problem with a three-tier infrastructure because our storage is external. So performance is completely based on these four component. Okay, converge infrastructure. The first design I talked about it. See here, the converge. There is no much difference. Okay, you still have three-tier, but one difference is you get everything in one rack. Okay, so you see here you have a storage, NetApp storage. You have a Cisco servers, and then you have the switches, networking switches. It's still three different tiers, but the difference is you get a single, you get all in single rack. Okay, so that's the difference. Converge, but logically it is same like the traditional three-tier infrastructure. So I'm not going to talk about this much detail, but I just want you to see the differences. Okay, the advantage here, in a three-tier infrastructure, if you have issue with your storage, maybe if your server is not able to get the storage from the Dell EMC, then what you have to do is you have to go and raise a ticket. If you go and raise a ticket with server vendor like HP is a server vendor, then HP says, hey, my server is working fine. Then go ahead and check with your server vendor. So I think somebody, Homer, I put yourself on mute. Okay, so maybe server vendor says, hey, my component is working fine. So probably go and check with your storage vendor. Then you have to go and raise a ticket with storage. Then storage vendor says, hey, I don't see any problem with storage. So probably go back to you and check with your the server vendor. So likewise, they they keep you moving from one place to other place. So this adds a lot of problem production side. So to address this problem, Cisco, NetApp, they with VMware, they collectively they collaborated and then brought up a solution, something called a FlexSpot. Okay, so you have a single rack where you have a Cisco hardware and then NetApp storage. And from the support wise, there is a centralized team available. You don't need to worry about issues. Like if there is an issue with NetApp, don't worry about that because you don't need to go to NetApp and raise a ticket. There is a centralized team where irrespective of any issues, there is a centralized team. They pick the issue and they will solve it out. Okay, that one advantage you get it with the converged infrastructure. Other than that, still it's three different layers. Storage side, no improvement, no performance change. It's same performance what you get from the traditional infrastructure. Okay. So finally, from three-tier infrastructure to HCI, this is how this simple. This is how it looks. We have very simple design topology from the HCI, but other side, if you see three-tier, it has very the environment is very big. Okay. So what is HCI? HCI is common combined common data center hardware, which is nothing but it's x86 hardware then using locally attached storage resources with intelligent software. I already said x86 hardware, local storage, and then intelligent software. These are the three different component in HCI. Okay, so x86 storage resource, intelligent software. We know that before moving further, what is the problem with traditional, what is the problem with the DAS, and then what is the problem with SAN, and what is the advantage and disadvantage you get with a HCI. Okay, so now we have so many competitors in HCI. Why specifically we need to pick up Nutanix? Anybody has an idea? Why specifically we need to take Nutanix?
Nutanix give automation feature also in integration their SCI solution. comparatively on other vendor?
Which one?
Automation, he's saying.
Automation.
Automation.
Workload
Best part is
balance.
a HA. HA is high availability is related,
No,
and
it is
FT also,
keeping
FT also
all
is there.
vendor, but automation feature is extra, I think, in Nutanix.
Okay.
Workload balance.
Okay.
And so many license for we have one license.
Okay. And others?
It support even cloud as well, hybrid environment.
Okay. Others? Maybe. Anybody else wants to give a try?
And the upgradation is simple. It's a one-click upgradation.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It has a flexible license method.
Flexible license. Okay. Great. Okay. Thank you. Now, overall, at a certain level, the answers given by you is correct. But I'm actually looking something unique answer because that is where you can go and win the deal. Like maybe you can be a Nutanix pre-sales guy, or maybe if in a situation where your customer is asking you to do the proper study and kind of conduct a proper POC, and they want to see the real benefit of each vendor, and then from there with the real key points, they ask you to select a one, right? So I don't think, yes, certain level that adds value, but still, I know we are looking something unique. Okay. So we have some important key points. Okay. Let's take a small comparison. Okay. So HCI, I said, right? x86 hardware. Okay. Then the storage is come. Okay. Then the one is intelligent software. And then last one is hypervisor. Let's take these three important areas. Okay. Now I go with VMware vCen. Do you think they have x86 hardware? Are they selling hardware?
No.
Yes. So answer is no. Do they have intelligent software?
No.
Yes, they have vCen.
Yes,
Product
vCen.
is vCen. Yes. Do they have hypervisor?
Yes, they have.
Yes, they have hypervisor. Coming to the Azure Stack HCA, do they have hardware?
No.
Yes.
Yes, you can say 50, but they also support other hardware. So let's take this. Intelligent software is this is something like 50%. So partially I say intelligent software. Yes, they have intelligent software. Do they have hypervisor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Hyper-V. Yes. Then Dell VxRail. Do they have hardware?
Yes.
Yes, we have Dell servers. Do they have software? Yes, they are into NCA, so obviously they have software. Do they have hypervisor?
Yes.
They use VMware hypervisor.
Yes, they use VM, but they don't have their own hypervisor, so answer is no.
Oh.
Coming to the HP Simplicity, do they have hardware?
Yes.
Yes. Do they have intelligent? Yes, intelligent software, yes, because they are in NCA.
No.
Hypervisor?
No.
They support VMware and Hyper-V. Coming to Nutanix, do they have hardware?
Yes.
No.
Yes, they have NX hardware, Nutanix hardware, which is Supermicro servers. They buy Supermicro, rebrand, and sell it in the market. So it's their own platform. Intelligent software.
Yes.
But say,
yeah.
The thing is same. The HP Dell also have a hardware. Then they are using hypervisor from VMware. Then what's the difference?
I lost you in last. Your voice goes down. No.
Hello.
Yes.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah. Now I can.
Yeah. Nutanix also not own production their hardware, and Dell and Nutanix is doing same thing. I think one is using another manufacturing hardware and rewinding, and Dell also they have a hardware and they are using another hypervisor, VMware hypervisor, and rebranding as a VXA. What's a major difference?
Okay, I'll come to this point. Okay, let me complete this, then I'll come back to you. Okay. Okay. So moving back here, intelligent software Nutanix has. Does Nutanix have hypervisor?
Yes, yes.
AOS. Are you saying
AHV.
AHV? Yeah, right. AHV. So if you see, we have a full availability from Nutanix. Okay, but other side, some vendors missing something. But what there is some missing something. But how this adds value to me? Okay, I know Nutanix has all, but how this adds value to me? Okay, let's take an example. First thing is license. So if you take VHP Simplicity, you have to pay license for hardware, and then you have to pay license for your hypervisor. Correct? If it is VMware or maybe Hyper-V. Recently Broadcom acquired VMware, and after that the license cost is very high now. Okay, but if you compare the same with Nutanix has hypervisor called AHV, which is nothing but KVM plus CentOS. KVM is a kernel virtual machine, so that plays a major key role in the kernel area. CentOS binaries are used in the user area. So any OS you have a kernel and user. Okay, kernel directly communicate with the hardware resources like CPU, memory. User is something for application to work. So Nutanix AHV, they have taken the KVM as kernel and then CentOS binaries for the user area, and they rebranded, and then it's something like open source. They took the open source and then rebranded as AHV, and it's free of cost. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Yes.
But this is something high level. It's a free of cost, but still it's I say that this is a marketing strategy. Okay, Nutanix has 3 different editions: Starter, Pro, and Ultimate. So Starter is only the free of cost. Pro and Ultimate, obviously, you need to buy. But one difference here, when your license expired in VMware, you will not be able to create anything. But Nutanix, you don't have that problem. If you don't have license, if your license gets expired, then your starter is lifetime free, right? Your starter, it runs. But only problem here, if you have purchased a Pro license and if you are using some features which is available in Pro or Ultimate, that that will not work. But whatever supports under the starter license, that will work for you. Make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
If I buy Pro and Ultimate, after that license is expired, then we have to create a VM or not after that?
No, VM works, but behind that there are a lot of storage concepts, or we have something called replication factor. There are a lot of things. Okay, if you ask me straight away, I give you an answer. Yes, you can create VM, but at the back end, you have a lot of problems, because if you go with Pro and Ultimate, your replication factor and redundancy factor are supported by system is 3, but with the starter you can have only 2. Okay, likewise we have a lot of restrictions. So at certain level some features may not work, and because of that you feel that, hey, I'm not able to create VM. But technically, if you can create a simple VM, but beyond that, if you need anything more, you need more license. Okay.
Yes, Shivam. Yeah, I'm confusing about the X86 is a backward compatibility hardware. Yeah, am I right?
Exactly.
The
You
64
cannot take any hardware. You cannot take any hardware. Just note this point, okay? You cannot go and take any hardware. Nutanix has some qualified servers. Only you have to pick the
What?
qualified servers.
Okay. Why they use backward compatibility hardware structure if we can use a 64-bit architecture? Then why use the
No, no,
86?
No, x86, the names makes you confusion. Previously x86, it only refers 32-bit. But now even under the x86, you have 64-bit systems. But it's still the naming is, logic and other processor team, they still use it, but it's 64-bit system. If you go and Google it, you can find the difference. Okay. Earlier, x86 means 32-bit system, but now even 64-bit system is also included under the x86. They will still use the name. Got it?
That means it is a 64-bit processor supported hardware.
Yeah, right. It is supported.
Can you? Oh, yeah, I will Google it later after this session.
Yeah.
But can you explain as a layman term, what's the different before 86 and after this new 86 term?
No, 86, previously 32 bits of data can be processed. Your processor, the processor you get is, it supported only 32-bit. It's like almost 6, maybe 10 years story. But now after that, the 64-bit systems came into market. So at a time, 64-bit bit of data can be processed by your processor. But that, even in the data center, earlier we had x86 hardware from the server side and then 64-bit hardware. But now our servers are 60-bit hardware, 64-bit. So which means it can process more amount of data. So like you have a processor, you have memory, all the data are coming to the memory. From memory it goes to the processor to process more data. Now it is 64 bits. Probably we can talk more about this upcoming session, but I have a time constriction where I need to cover up a few important.
Yeah, one question.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we upgrade the edition from Pro to Ultimate?
Yeah, obviously you can do that. If you have more money, you can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, any questions here? Good. Thank you. So the important key feature is license. When somebody asks you to compare, first thing you have to say license. Nutanix is free of cost. Okay. I mean, Nutanix hypervisor is free of cost, but at the same time, you need to understand that there's 3 different editions. Starter is only free. Okay. And second important key feature. Okay. Do you think VMware vSAN will support Hyper-V? Do you think Azusa HCA will support VMware ESXi?
Yeah, I think support.
You mean Azusa
Yes, I
HCA
think so.
supporting VMware Hypervisor?
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, I think nested platform. You are asking
No.
nested.
I'm talking in a production environment.
Okay.
Okay. A lab, we can do anything, but I'm talking in the production environment. Okay. Moving to the Dell VxRail. Dell VxRail has no native hypervisor, so they support VMware and Hyper-V. Same HP. HP has no native hypervisor, but they support a hypervisor as VMware and Hyper-V. But Nutanix, we have a freedom. You can have VMware ESXi, or you can have Microsoft Hyper-V, or you can have Nutanix AHV hypervisor. So you get a freedom to choose your hypervisor. We are not forcing customer to go and select specific hypervisor. So the 3 common hypervisor available in market, we give them a list. Some customer says, I want to use ESXi as because I believe in ESXi because their legacy is very long. So I wanted to continue the VMware ESXi. Okay, go ahead, no problem. We are supporting. Some customer I believe I prefer Hyper-V. Yes, we support it. We are not forcing. But VMware vSAN and Azure Stack, I say the story is different because they have their own hypervisor. They try to push it to use their own hypervisor. Okay, and then coming to the hardware, do you think HP will support Dell hardware? I mean Dell hardware and HP software. Do you think that will work?
No.
I think that is the compatibility issue.
Yeah, yes, it doesn't work out, right? Because I said that each vendor has some qualified servers list. HP will not. HP's software and Dell hardware will not work. Dell hardware and HP software will not work. Okay, so they don't support other vendors. If it is Cisco hardware, only Cisco HyperFlex, Cisco hardware is only supported. Other hardwares cannot be used. Okay, so you have no freedom to choose hardware in other vendors, but in Nutanix, you have a freedom. You can use HP, you can use a Dell, you can use a Lenovo, you can use IBM, you can use Apollo servers, you can use Intel servers, you can use Nutanix own hardware as well. So you have plenty of options from Nutanix. So freedom to choose a hypervisor. Okay, freedom to choose hypervisor. VMware, HP, and Hyper-V. Okay, and same then freedom to choose. We have
And sir, what about Citrix?
sorry,
What about Citrix?
Citrix is supported. Zen Citrix is as well, supported by Nutanix. Freedom to choose hardware. Okay, you can use HP, Dell, and now it goes like anything. Okay, so three differences. One is license. Second is freedom to choose hypervisor. Then freedom to choose the hardware. Clear? Make sense?
Yes, great.
Okay, so last one is last two important features. We have something called full stack model, and then the other one is one click upgrade. But some of answered these points, but these are now it is available in the other competitors as well. Full stack model, many people are trying to bring this feature, but I tell you, full stack model in the sense, whatever you need for your data center, you get it from the Nutanix. You need a server hardware, yes, you can get it from Nutanix. Nutanix has NX hardware. You need a hypervisor, Nutanix has it. You need a virtualization, Nutanix has. You need a hybrid cloud, Nutanix has. You need automation, you need a Kubernetes, you need a software defined networking. Then what else? You need object storage, you need backup, you need disaster recovery, all whatever you need encryption. Okay, likewise, whatever you need for your data center, everything available in Nutanix. But if you go with HP has no hypervisor, then it cannot be a full stack model, right? If you go Dell has no hypervisor, then it's not a full stack model. Azure Stack HCI, they don't have hardware. It's not a when you need to set up a hybrid cloud, you set up hardware in your data center as well. Then Azure has no hardware. If you have VMware vSAN, they don't have a hardware. It's not a complete full stack model, right? So these are the important differences with other competitors. Nutanix is completely a full stack model. One click upgrade is it's very common now. Every component, every vendor is trying to offer this. So almost you have this in other competitors as well. So now this feature is you cannot highlight this feature, but other features are very unique, and that's where it keeps Nutanix in the top. But along with it, the automation, simplicity, everything is adding more strength to the Nutanix solution. Okay, but that's not a unique feature. So these are the unique feature which highlights Nutanix. So these are the reasons why we need to pick up Nutanix. Okay, like as I said, right, Kubernetes solution. VMware has Kubernetes. VMware Tanzu is there. Azure has Kubernetes solution like IAK is Azure Kubernetes service. But Dell, HP, Lenovo, other solutions, they may have, but at certain level, the features are having limited availability or feature set. Okay, so I hope with this, you have an answer why we need to pick up HCI. What is the problem with the DAS? What is the advantage with DAS? What is the problem, disadvantage with SAN? What is the advantage with SAN? And what HCI brings to your data center? And then we have so many competitors. Why we need to pick up Nutanix? Okay, I hope you have clarity here. Yeah.
Sir, one more question I have. See, if suppose that one physical server we have there in VMware, there is a VM converter tool is there. But what about Nutanix?
Why?
Nutanix, how to convert physical to V virtual machine.
Okay, so
V2V, V2V
Nutanix.
is possible for in the Move. I think Move is the tool. Yeah, but what about physical to VM?
Okay, so that that feature is not full extensively supported by Nutanix. You still need to use the some of the tool available in the market. Maybe you can use the V2V. You can convert VM from physical machine to your VM. From VM you can to VMware, then VMware to Nutanix. It's quite easy. But there is a straight away the option is not available. Okay.
Okay. Just few months before we have very challenges there now, so that's why I'm asking.
Okay, so yeah, let me invite marketing as well. Just give me a second.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul, actually, for today's session. I think your session has been over, right?
Yeah, right.
And the Q&A also.
Maybe we can just wait and see if there is any question.
No problem. Actually, thanks. Actually, we are having a good offer. We are providing a good offer to our customer. The first time we are conducting a Nutanix training, and I'm just handed over to my sales and marketing executive, Mr. Ayan Sheikh. He will give some offer.
Hello everyone. This is Ayan Sheikh from handling the sales and marketing department for CDP Networks. So currently we are running our pre-booking offer of 2 days, in which you will get 20% off on your purchase. The actual price of the course is $250 or 20,000 rupees. But if you buy this course in these 2 days, you will get this course in 16,000 rupees or $210. And also 2 recorded videos, 3 of your choice, like we have in our library. AWS Solution Architect, VMware 8.0, English and Hindi, both are available with us, and Palo Alto PCNSE and VMware NX60. So I request you to please fill the form given in the chat. Thank you.
Today is the last session, or tomorrow this will happen?
Today is the last session, but we'll start our training as and when we'll having a minimum candidate for the actual training.
Okay, maybe next week, huh?
Depends on the users actually. If you are having a sufficient user, we'll start on the 15th. Otherwise, we'll go on 22nd.
Okay, great.
Guys, request is to please fill a pre-booking form. I send you the pre-booking form link. Now you can continue Paul Q&A session.
Okay, maybe I open this forum for the QA question. QA. So if any questions, probably we can discuss.
Someone send in the chat box, please.
Okay, you have compared Nutanix with other hyperconverged solution. What do you think about SIP storage? What is Nutanix better compared to Prom's SIP? Do you have any reference? See, the SIP storage, CPH is something like you still need a basic hardware to set up this storage. So Nutanix is completely different solution altogether. Okay, how are you going to get the this is not something like a storage, but this is something like running the virtualization platform. So you can say that it's a revaluation happen at the storage level. Okay, HCI is something it does the revaluation in the storage level. I said right, we were at the DAS and then we were at the SAN, but somewhere something is missing at both solutions. So HCI is trying to address a problem what you have in the DAS and the SAN. So that level you can see the difference, but HCI is not a complete replacement of SAN. It's still if you go to many data center, customer use SAN, customer use Nutanix or any HCI solution. Okay, there are certain workloads like Oracle databases, Exchange Server, Splunk, and then some VDI workloads. Okay, so these are the special kind of workloads where Nutanix or any HCI is most suitable. But other workloads, you can still know, you can go ahead and use SAN environment. So I repeat again, Nutanix or HCI is not a complete replacement of SAN, but there are certain workloads which actually require a high performance, which means they want to keep the data very close to them as much as possible, and because they want to read and write the data, in a short latency period. So this is where HCI comes, and what is Nutanix now. So SIP is totally a different environment, and HCI is totally a different environment. How secured is the Nutanix environment compared to other HCI environment? That is Dell HPX. Okay, so HCI itself has certain standards. Okay, if you specifically want to study about the storage of security of Nutanix environment, and then Nutanix has security related modules and documents separately. And along with our next training, we will be talking about this. We will be going to talk about storage, security in the storage side. Okay, Nutanix has many standards, because if you want to go ahead and set up a HCI environment in healthcare side, okay, hospitals or other side, they have certain security standards. If you want to install Nutanix in the government officials, they have some security standards, and maybe in the defense, they have some security standard. As Nutanix, they have implemented uh, almost the popular security standards in their environment. So you get everything when it comes to the security. If you still have any specific questions from security side, you can probably go and check the security standards followed by Nutanix in the Nutanix website. Okay. So what is the price of NCA and NCP certificate? Okay, so it's almost $200. You get it, but keep doing this training. No, I'll let you know what's the best way to get the free certificate, free exam vouchers. Okay, I'll give you all the hint. But at this moment, if you go and register, it is going to be $200. But there is a way you can go ahead and take the free exams. Are you providing any hands-on labs? Yes, I'll be having the lab, but the lab is running on community edition. Getting the real production environment is not easy one. It actually requires real hardware. So no training vendor provides that kind of a lab. So we are having a community edition based lab, but you can mostly you can get most of the stuff. I will also help you out to set up your own lab. You need more resources, but if you have, you can set it up. I'll help you out. Document PDF flash PDF. Okay, I'll be sharing that. Is it possible the Nutanix install on VMware could I run as well? Yes, obviously. Nutanix runs on VMware and as well as Hyper-V. You can have a base hypervisor as VMware and or maybe Hyper-V, and top you can install Nutanix. Okay. NCP certificate. After completing this training, you will be able to take NCA and NCP exams. Okay, I will provide all the necessary support for you to clear up these two certifications. Okay. Any questions?
I'm working as an L1 Nutanix. More I'm interested in the architecture. The
Okay.
operation is the basic things are okay, but the Nutanix core components, QRadar, lots of inter-components, macro components is there. So do we will cover all the things or just we cover only operation tasks?
See,
because in syllabus, what
okay.
I received, it is more about in operation task, but in the backend, how it works, what is the architecture, so that I'm more interested on that.
Okay.
Is it will cover?
So this training we actually now planning to cover up NCA and NCP course, okay, which is actually available in the Nutanix site. So specific this training we are only covering up these two courses. If you have any specific requirements, so please get in touch with the team. CDP team here available, so we will address your question. But this course is specifically designed for certification based. Okay, but we will see based on the interest. Probably we will if there is anything beyond that, like operational side and a lot of troubleshooting side, best practices all needs to be covered. Then yes, we will take it separately. But you can get in touch with the team.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So VMware vCent trim is not enabled by default. How does Nutanix deal with storage reduction when you decrease the size of VM's disk? Okay. So here, you are mixing two different things. So VMware vCent is not enabled default. How does Nutanix deal with storage reduction? VMware with Nutanix, you can only use VMware as a hypervisor platform. vCent cannot be used along with Nutanix. Okay. Nutanix has a separate way of handling the storage. Okay. I will in the session, it's still out of the scope because no training will cover up that much of depth knowledge how the storage is connected and uh, how storage handles how replication factor handle all that more detail we will talk. That's where we can discuss about this detail, but you are mixing VMware vCent Nutanix. That way, it doesn't work. Only VMware can be used as a hypervisor platform. Top intelligence software is going to be only Nutanix AOS. Okay, and storage reduction when you decrease the size of the VMs. Okay, there is a feature called ADS, Acropolis Dynamic Scheduler, which does all the part, and then there is a service called Curator, which completely does the optimization of storage. Right? This is more detailed, but there is a feature called Curator. What will be the laptop configuration to practice lab? You cannot set Nutanix on the laptop. You need a real ESXi based environment. Okay, you need a ESXi host with more amount of storage and memory. I'll provide you the link to set up the lab, but laptop cannot be used. You need actually hardware with ESXi installed. On top we will create couple of VMs, and each VM is going to act as each node. Okay, so any questions?
What will be the timing for this session once we join?
I think the admin team will be able to answer you. So I'll leave it to them. They will get in touch with you.
And we will only just covering the NCA and NCP, right?
Yeah.
If we have to do another one more top level, I think that is the master one, right?
Oh yes, master one is the third one, and we are not covering that today. I mean with this session, but obviously if more interest, we will also take up. Do we start from scratch installation, AHV storage, networking, CVM? No. I think the team is already forwarded you the course agenda, everything. Whatever in the NCA and NCP, we'll be covering that. If anything extra, if you if you have a requirement, then I request you to write an email or send a message to the team. We will see if we can complete, but we will try to stretch ourselves to address your questions and things. But bringing this installation of AHV under it takes a longer time. I don't think we can cover up that, but certainly we will see.
Hello.
Yes.
Guys, request is to please free to fill the form, registration form. So our sales team will be get back to you.
See, the concept is very simple. If you ask me, 1 hour is enough to teach in Nutanix. One day, if you ask, one day is also fine, and we can also talk about this, for an year. So it's all like a matter of how efficiently we are utilizing your time and our time, and we wanted to try the important things. Okay, but the concepts and it's big. It's like a big ocean. We still have a lot of concepts to cover up, but we are trying to brings which is very important, which is very useful for you.
You're right.
Okay, any questions? We still have 10 more minutes. Okay, I see no further questions. If no further questions, then probably we can wind up for the team. So team, I'll leave it to you.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Paul. Thanks everyone for joining us. Our sales team will get back to you on the offers and other things.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you all.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Shubham.